Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's edition of the Black Belt Newscast. It is time to talk about the latest news. I'm Cindy Fisher, publisher.
I'm Todd Prater, staff writer.
And we are at our headquarters in Selma this week. And we have got so much to talk about. Of course, as we know, this week was a big week.
It's a big week.
It was election week.
Yeah, a little something going on called an election.
Yeah, we had our election night pizza here.
We did. We had a fun night that night. I enjoyed it.
But we also were at the courthouse to see all the results come in locally.
Especially on our local elections, right?
Right. So just looking at the turnout was about 50%, 52% for the state, which they said was a 30-year low. You would think.
Yeah, and it was amazing because how busy.
A presidential election, you would think it would be high.
It was high across the country. And I know here
it was only right at 50% for Dallas County, but Marengo County had a 61% turnout. Yeah. Amazing. So there's some in the Black Belt that did okay. It did rain on election day, which can scare some people away.
Right. Yeah.
So in the grand scheme in the Black Belt, most of the elections were pretty sleepy. We had First of all, a lot of our elections were determined during the primary in March.
Right.
But secondly, municipal elections were moved off of the federal schedule and onto a year later, which is 2025. Right. So we have a lot of mayor and council races that were moved to next year. In fact, when we were at the Dallas County results, the city clerk for Selma was there, and Jimmy Nunn, our probate judge, was like, "Hey, it's going to be your year by yourself next year."
Yeah.
So we were honored to run the voter list again, and had the polling places for everybody. We had quite a bit of people come by and grab our copies. So we were
useful information. So
it is. So we are glad to be able to provide that for you guys. So yeah, the 2024 election is complete. And yes, it was pretty stressful for most of us.
Yeah, it really
is. But now we gear up for 2025. So stay with the Black Belt News Network for what is going to be coming in the elections for 2025. We will be all over it.
Big local stuff coming up.
So that is our wrap up. But I did want to go into some elections did have some meteor items, I guess you could say, and Demopolis was one of them. They had a $5 million tax that they had asked for, and what it was for was a renewal of the $5 million tax that's been there for 30 years. So it's not a new tax, but they had to get it approved in order for them to get another 30 years. And it's about $1 million that comes in for this millage. Now, it barely passed. It passed by 100 votes.
Wow.
Literally 100 votes. So there's a story up at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com if you want to see the details about that. It also lists what the school district says they use the money for. That is funding that the State Department of Education does not provide is where this fills in. And it's like that for all locals. Yeah. So it's sports facilities and maintenance and and some bonuses for teachers and some pay related things. So go to blackbeltnewsnetwork.com and check that out.
Over in Otago County, they actually voted down a tax hike.
Yeah, well, this one came close.
Yeah.
Even though they're trying to say, it's not a new tax, but taxing isn't popular right now.
No, it's not popular ever, really.
So, all right, let's go into the business world.
Oh, yeah.
We had a very interesting merger in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we sure did.
Pretty well-known Selma funeral homes.
Right. As a matter of fact, if you drive down 22 and you look at Selma Funeral Home, you'll probably notice that there's no signs on it anymore that say Selma Funeral Home. The reason for that is Lawrence Brown Service Funeral Home has acquired both Selma Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens.
Pineview, yeah.
I mean, Pineview Memorial Gardens, yeah. And now I talked to Vice President Kenneth Martin, and he said that they will continue burials and funerals in the Pineview Memorial Gardens immediately, but they're going to wait for some licensing, and they're going to use the Selma Funeral Home building once the license is passed for an alternative place for folks to have funerals and
Right.
family gatherings.
But the
and stuff.
business side of it is going to move to Lawrence Brown's.
Right. It's going to
office.
all be held in the main office on Lawrence Brown on Citizens Parkway.
Right.
But that merger happened this past week, and they actually started October 27th when they took over, and
it became official.
Yeah, and it
There's
became
Lawrence.
official. So if you
they're
have
not that
any,
far apart from
no,
each
they're
other.
not that far apart. But if you do have, one of the things that Mr. Martin was very adamant about is that if you had plans with Selma Funeral Home, they're honoring them. So if you spent money with Selma Funeral Home, your money's good. But they have explanations at their website, and you can go in and talk to them. They'll clarify. They're going to send letters out too.
Well, I ran the Business Journal for 9 years before I joined you guys. And one of the things that we always say is someone always wins in a merger. In this case, the winner was Lawrence Brown.
Yeah, they did big time. Yeah.
And so they're taking on the assets and the clients. So that's an interesting move here in the Black Belt. I want to mention that Selma actually was the site for Keep Alabama Beautiful. They had a meeting here in Selma and brought all their folks here convention style. And I have this video from one of our documenters, Angela Benjamin.
I'm Denise Taylor, Executive Director for Keep Alabama Beautiful, and we're here in Selma for our Keep Alabama Beautiful State meeting. We're thankful to the City of Selma and to Dallas County for hosting this. We have members, our affiliate chapters from across the state of Alabama, from Mobile to Huntsville, Tuscaloosa to Auburn, Jacksonville, Birmingham, and lots in between. We really enjoyed our time here. Selma is such a beautiful city, and with so many people working to keep it beautiful and to take areas that might need a little attention and give it that attention. There's a feeling when you come visit Selma, you just know that there's something happening here. There's just that feeling in the air, and we again appreciate the hospitality and are so glad to be connected to the City of Selma. I was about to say Keep Selma Beautiful, the City of Selma and Dallas County in providing cleanup supplies at no charge, and that's made possible through our sponsors and through our partnership with the Alabama Department of Transportation.
And let me just say, I have caught Denise at the end of her day, and surely she's tired. She's been here a long time. And you all have one more day or 2 more days?
We have one more day.
Okay.
So we'll start bright and early in the morning. We're heading out to dinner at the farmers market, the Orville Farmers Market tonight. And then we hope to get back in time to enjoy this chili festival, or the chili competition that's near the hotel. We're staying at the St. James Hotel, which is beautiful, right on the banks of the Alabama River. And then we'll start early in the morning at 8 o'clock with breakfast at Reflections and share ideas and have a couple of speakers. And then some people will stay in Selma and enjoy some more of the sites and visit the shops. And then some people will head back.
So what's interesting about that is the offerings that we have for when a group comes.
Yeah.
So that is Reflections, that now is an option,
Right.
the coffee shop, and Orville. No, this was yesterday that she was talking about. So the chili cook-off was last night.
Yeah.
And so don't go tonight. Right. She was talking about last night, but Orville farmers market, which is yum.
Love that. Yeah.
My favorite
Judy
is the
McKinney, she's
meatloaf.
awesome, yeah.
I always think about the meatloaf whenever I think of that.
Will you quit talking about food? I'm on a diet.
I know we haven't really had lunch yet, but it's really neat to host groups like this and to hear where they're staying, which is St. James, and that they like it and that they're excited that there's going to be an event right outside their door. So it's pretty neat.
That is good.
Thanks to Angela for sharing that with us. Central Alabama Fair wrapped up their visit which is annual, and I spent most of my time, most of last week out there making corn dogs for the Cozy Dogs for the Rotary Club, which was a fundraiser. But they didn't give us attendance numbers, but the weather was fantastic the whole week. There was a little drizzle, but it was still so warm. The year before it was very cold, and you would not have wanted to. Yeah, it was pretty cold last year, but this year was really great. And they did tell us that they plan on coming back the next year. Haven't said what dates. Yeah, that's the cozy dogs.
Yeah, I think Mr. Haskell said that they're going to pretty much keep everything. They really had a great time this year, but they don't have any specific dates yet. But everybody is on board to come back and do it again.
So this is the bingo that they do every year, but something new. Well, they did the petting zoo this year, which they didn't have during COVID.
Right.
You know, everything kind of coming back around is kind of neat. Yeah. See, he gave me a real like,
hey, how you doing?
You could actually buy like lettuce and carrots and feed.
Oh,
and that's kind of what they do right here. And something else that they brought this year for the first time was the 4-H club brought their rabbit competition.
Oh yeah.
And it was middle school age.
Sounds so cool.
And they that's the beauty pageant came back last year for the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought this one was really precious because she was. It took a while to see how she does the little blowing kisses. And that was a big draw. And this is the 4-H club. And they brought bunnies and.
That's interesting. I've heard of cows and pigs, but I've never heard of bunnies
show.
Before.
And so this is an example of the bunny show.
How cool!
They show the ears and the paws and the toes. And it's pretty cute.
How fun!
And they said they're bringing that back because of how popular it was.
I like rabbits.
So yeah, it was really fun, and they had a lot of kids from Hale County, Marengo County. I actually don't know if I heard of Dallas County in there. Maybe I did, but
I wonder.
I knew a couple of Marengo folks that were there in Hale County, so they were well represented across the Black Belt.
That's good.
So tell us about a cemetery cleanup project.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you something. I had the opportunity to speak with this young man right here. His name is Grant Arrington.
He's gotten tall.
He has gotten. Look at that. I know. He's becoming an Eagle Scout. And of course, to be an Eagle Scout, you have to take on a project. And this particular project had been done back before he was even born. And he talked about Fred McCormick before he died. Said he wanted this to be done again.
Got it.
So Grant, for his Eagle project, has taken on the cleaning up of Bethel Cemetery, which is at the intersection of Landline Road and Morse Ferry Road. And I'm going to tell you, I got a friend that lives down Morse Ferry, and I've gone past that intersection a million times. Yeah. Never saw a cemetery that was so overgrown.
Me either.
But he and his dad, Andy, got out there with help from some other folks and really did a wonderful job. Denmark Tree, and we're going to upload an interview that I recorded with him. It's got some video that he sent me with. Denmark Tree actually came out and took down some trees that were too big for them to take down themselves.
Right, that can be dangerous.
Yeah, it can be dangerous. And they brought out the right equipment. They volunteered.
How old is this cemetery?
That cemetery dates to the early 1800s. There was once a church on Morse Ferry Road right next to the cemetery, and this was the church cemetery. That is the picture that it was ironic. I was editing this video just a few minutes ago, and Andy sent me, we finally got all the extra stuff cleaned up. So here's a picture of it, how it looks now.
I can't believe it. I'm going to be passing by later today.
Yeah, I'm going to go look at it again too. So be watching for the story and for the interview to be on Black Belt News Network.
Yes,
so.
I just haven't uploaded it yet. We had so much going on with the election. We wanted it not to get overshadowed.
Right, the election was the most important thing.
It kind of won out this week.
But I'm going to tell you something. Grant Arrington is a wonderful young man. Andy should be very proud of his son.
He is a Morgan Junior at Morgan.
Yeah, and congratulations for that.
That's one thing I love about Eagles Scouts, or just Scouts in general, is that it makes them look at the community and how can I help. Now I have to say that Morgan does have a lot of kids that they require community service hours, and they also require it for scholarships, for college, and I find that those kids are pretty volunteer oriented.
I like that too. When I went to high school in Birmingham at John Carroll High School, that they required service projects.
Right. I think it's great that they do that. It's a private school thing maybe, but I think it's really great that they get involved. Hey, tell us let's go to Perry County for a second. I hear there's a battlefield there. We have reported about this battlefield.
We said that it was coming up.
I think.
We reported about it actually in 2022. Then we talked about it last week that this war was happening.
Yes.
This past Saturday, Dewaney Field, which is on County Road 58 in Perry County, there's a medieval village already there.
Wow.
It became a medieval city with two factions fighting. That's the Southern folks. That's the guy in the red face. He owns it. He's Lex. He was fighting to become king of the southern or the eastern kingdom,
Oh,
and they actually had
what?
a war.
They just
These
threw
folks,
something.
Yeah, he threw an axe. They're
No.
really fighting.
Oh my Lord.
That's real armor. They're actually really fighting. They do use wooden swords and whatnot.
No spears.
Yeah,
they're just whacking each other.
They're
is
whacking
crazy,
the devil
Todd.
out of each other. And here's the thing. That was one battle this weekend. This was this past Saturday. That was one battle. After they battled in that field, they had to move, and they battled on a bridge, which right there, the bridge.
That's not safe.
In the bridge and up in the woods. And that battle was to defend the castle. Because right around behind you, as you're facing the bridge, and you'll see it in just a second, there is a castle that they had to defend and fight for. One side's fighting for it, one side's defending it. And there's the castle.
Oh my goodness, that is pretty
It's
awesome.
amazing. And that building to the right is actually where Lex lived. Now that is the opposing prince.
Did
Lex
he lose?
won.
Oh.
So he gave homage to the new king and swore his allegiance.
He doesn't chop his head off, does he?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm just thinking, Game of Thrones over here.
Yeah, really. The king was crowned, and then he spoke to his subjects.
Wow.
And it was so amazing because they do it very authentically. And then after he spoke to his folks, he and his sidekick, that's Jason actually, rode a victory ride around the field on their horses. And it is absolutely the most.
No, that's not a latte, is it?
No, it is not a latte. It was cider.
It was cider.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I got to enjoy a little bit.
I'm going to have to send this footage over to Martina West, my buddy Martina.
Oh,
she
yeah.
loves Game of Thrones like crazy. He keeps telling me I need to see it.
Stuff. They do out at Donwani Fields. He'll do really authentic and
That
there's
was
some of
pretty
them
real
that
to
was pretty
me. I
real.
don't know about
Then
you
they do
guys.
some- this weekend there's a group out there that's all fantasy stuff and foam swords, and it's just a lot of fun.
Swords.
Yeah, they do all
Those
kind of fun
looked
stuff.
kind of real to me. I don't
Those
know about
were-
that bridge
yeah.
part. I didn't see a lot of
fun.
chicks in there either. What were the ladies
Oh
doing?
yeah, there's a lot of ladies. There's actually some of the ladies that fought. Some of them did fight.
Okay, they were wearing
And
the metal
a lot
stuff
of
too.
them, the whole thing is family oriented. There were women and kids and everything all
That
dressed
looks
up.
like a
medieval.
lot of fun.
Oh, it
All
is.
right.
You'd enjoy it.
I know. I need to go next year.
Okay, you can go. We'll make it happen.
All right. Let's do a little roundup.
Okay.
So let's see. We have what was it that I was going to talk about in the roundup?
You told me that there was what was the event you told me about? I was so busy working on the Winnie Field.
So go check out blackbeltnewsnetwork.com because the city of Marion actually got a $150,000 grant. To get public access to Wi-Fi. So find out more information about that. The story about Keep Alabama Beautiful is up on the website. I wasn't sure if we'd gotten that up yet. We have a lot of roundup stuff on here that's going to help keep you updated on what's going on in the Black Belt, because this is where we get all of our stories from. We're posting them all day long, all night.
There's one new one right there about 8 days.
And we
all
like
kind of good stuff.
Yeah, we like to do stories about us getting money because funding is so helpful. There is a Marion Military Institute story that's up right now.
And of course, the stuff that we've talked about on the newscast, there are details in our print edition and on our websites too. So
don't forget that we have Black Belt Outdoors.
Yeah, the Black Belt Outdoors.
You can follow us at Black Belt Outdoors on Facebook. And we actually had quite a bit of stories because the Bass Trail, Alabama Bass Trail finished, and they announced their Angler of the Year and Angler Team of the Year. And I posted that earlier this week. So check that out.
Kay Donaldson, she's awesome.
Football is continuing. Playoffs start tonight. I know Demopolis is in the playoffs. We've got quite a few teams in the area that are in the playoffs.
A lot of them did make it.
But we had a few that finished their season already.
And interestingly too, in some of these smaller schools, that's not always a bad thing because a lot of the football players also play basketball
and they've moved on to
they're
that.
already practicing for basketball season.
Make sure to sign up for our daily newsletter. I haven't mentioned this one yet in the newscast, and I usually do by now. This at 3:00 every day sends out the headlines, and that way you know what's going on and for the entire day.
Oh yeah.
Send your information on outdoors to outdoors@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com and send your resume or news to news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. We are always looking for what we call documenters, which are kind of like freelancers that can attend the meetings that we can't make, because our plan is we are doing this as a community.
Right.
We are going to keep everybody informed as a community. So
and,
help us by being there, just like Angela did with the video.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to show you the other cute video she sent me. This is just for fun, okay?
And we're here at Easter Seals, and there are wonderful, wonderful trees in the halls here, and they have a tree study going on. We are here with the pretty Mackenzie, and we are here with Hazley, and they're going to tell us about trees, right? I need to know some more about trees because I don't know everything about trees. So can y'all help me? Tell me about trees. What is it that you know about them?
The trees be green.
Okay.
The wood needs to be in the ground because if it don't be in the ground, it will die.
Oh, now that's a good point. What else?
Minnie Mouse.
And the tree will be like that.
Okay.
And the trunk needs to be right here. So the tree got held up.
What is that again? Tell me because I don't know. Is that the trunk?
Yeah, that's the trunk. You need to hold the tree up.
Yeah.
Oh, and without the trunk, would the tree fall?
Uh-huh.
And what about down there at the bottom? What's going on?
The wood.
The roots. Why does a tree need roots?
So he can have water to grow.
Water to grow. Y'all have really helped me today on this tree study. Y'all have given me some information to share with other people about trees.
How cute is that?
Oh, I swear that's
I
awesome.
am loving that.
Precious baby.
If you've got a video like that, send that to us.
Yeah,
Or I keep
love
putting
stuff
up
like that.
yes, I keep putting up the resume one.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean,
Send
we
your
need
news.
help in Camden. We need help
We
in Perry County.
do.
We need help in all of Black Belt County.
Yeah,
so
because we
need
can't be
people from
everywhere.
Yeah.
Send us your cute little videos like that, because that
And
just makes
love
me smile
those
on a
too.
Friday.
Yes, we
Hey,
need that.
they're future employees. I
That's
bet
right.
you that the one describing the trunk and how it keeps, I think she'd be a good reporter. I'm going to start working on her now.
She doesn't become a wildlife biologist first.
Well, that's a good point. She might end up there first. All right. One more thing in the Black Belt Roundup.
Yeah.
The Montgomery Ballet
Oh yeah.
is coming on November 17th to Selma. It's funny that they've been coming around and giving out things. We've put it online. It's getting, it always sells out. So I don't know why they need to give out that. It always sells out because people here are so excited about the opportunity to see something so fantastic as the Nutcracker. They're bringing the Nutcracker to the Earl Goodwin Theater at Wallace. And on November 17th, you can get tickets. Go find them on Facebook. That's the best way.
Okay.
But what's neat is they're not just doing, they're doing one act. It's act 2. But they're not just doing it here, they're doing it Pike Road and Greenville and Montgomery. So they're doing multiple and kind of outreaching. And I talked to their director and he was saying that they're hoping to get funds to do more shows in the spring. And they have one that's really popular that kids especially around here, everywhere, is the history of dance.
Oh yeah.
And they teach the history of dance.
How cool.
And I think that's really cool. So they go into the schools and they show all the way from balls and dances to hip hop and how it came to be. And I think it's really great.
I'd like to go hear
Me
that.
too. I love history and I love dance. So anyway,
me too.
That is another thing that's a real.
You wouldn't believe that I used to be able to dance.
You were a dancer, weren't you?
Yeah, actually,
I can see you with toe shoes. Point on point.
Well, I didn't do that, but I did have some capezios.
All right, that's something.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's see. Oh, make sure to. We are now able to take donations.
Yeah, please.
So you can send donations at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. There is a donate button. It's red. You can't miss it.
Press that button.
What's really awesome is we've actually been getting some donations lately to share, knowing that we need it in order for us to hire more people.
And
we
in
have
order
been
for us
getting
to keep coverage free.
Yeah, we have no paywall and there is we're never going to do it. So help us keep our content available to everyone on your cell phones, on your iPads, on your desktops. You can watch us on social like you are right now. And of course, we always like to thank our sponsors.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
And we also have there's several things. What is the one for the Medicare that's coming up? But this one, we are very appreciative to Randall Miller and for the pre-planning that they do. So if you want to pre-plan your funeral, it's a really thoughtful gift for your family. So give them a call. And if you want to be a sponsor, if you want to be a sponsor, let us know. If you have a company that you know of that needs to grow and be seen here on our show. And then also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. This is the way to see us right now on Fridays, but also to be in the know about your region. And there is I do this almost every day. I'm adding to our community calendar. It is the most robust calendar in the Black Belt and what's going on. So check out blackbeltnewsnetwork.com and put what's happening in the Black Belt. And you will find our calendar that has got so much information if you want to know what's going on and what you would like to do for the weekend.
And not only do we have the print, you can read online, you can read in the print version. You can also see videos on our YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you don't have time to read everything, you can watch the video. They're usually shorter, and some of them are pretty long, but you can watch them at will on demand, as they say.
On demand. And we are in the process of planning a longer series of longer videos where we're interviewing everybody. So we'll have some
personal interviews with some really interesting people.
Us what's your story. So
we got lots of stuff coming up.
We want to be a community connector and help connect you guys to each other and to your government and to your education and to your healthcare and to each other. Each other, that's the most important part.
That's right.
Connect to your community through the Black Belt News Network. So we will see you guys next week.
We will.
Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Hopefully at noon.
Try to be, Hopefully at noon.
And we'll see you next week.
Have a good one.